Welcome back to the Summerlin Bobcast. I'm your host, Jesse, with my co-host,
Dylan.
And I'm going to start off with breakfast. Monday, January 22nd is waffles. Tuesday, January 23rd is breakfast pizza. Wednesday, January 24th is mini cinnamon rolls. Thursday, January 25th, breakfast burrito. Friday, January 26th is Long Johns. Monday, January 29th is French toast sticks. And for the lunch, Monday, January 22nd is chili, cinnamon roll, fruit and veggie bar. Tuesday, January 23rd, Chinese, egg roll, fortune cookie, fruit and veggie bar. Wednesday, January 24th, walking tacos, tater tots, fruit and veggie bar. Thursday, January 25th, breaded beef sticks, mashed potatoes and gravy, dinner roll, fruit and veggie bar. Friday, January 26th, pulled pork sandwich, curly fries, fruit and veggie bar. Monday, January 29th, hot ham and cheese sandwich, au gratin, potatoes, and fruit and veggie bar.
Juniors and seniors, check your email for a message about post-prom cookie order forms. They are due back January 24th.
And for those students who took driver's ed last summer, you have to get your driver's permit number to Mr. Davis before you go to the DMV office to get a license. You have to.
For youth wrestling practices, Monday and Thursday nights from 6:15 to 7:15 for grades 3 through 8, while Tuesday nights from 6:15 to 7 o'clock for PK to 2nd grade.
And for close-up, the students going on the trip this year, the final balances were due January 19th, but it got moved to the 24th. There will be a meeting the 22nd in Rivers Room.
For seniors, as you are getting your senior pictures back, would you please send a photo to abbyfunk@summerlinbobcats.org for the seniors picture page?
You must do it. And the daily quote that we got to get changed is, "Perfection is attained by slow degrees. It requires the hand of time," as Keenan once said.
New this year, Summerlin will be live streaming games through Huddle TV this year. You can download the app called Team One Sports, click NEB, and search Summerlin. You can Google Huddle TV, and in the upper right, search Summerlin Bobcats and click video. You can also use link below. Let's see, link is what it is. Alright, this week for sports, Saturday, January 20th, there's a speech meet at Summerlin at 8 o'clock. Junior high boys basketball at the West Holt tournament. JV girls boys and basketball at Niobrara Verdigris tournament. Boys wrestling in Neely Oakdale at 10 o'clock in the FBLA winter formal dance. Monday, January 22nd, there's Summerlin Junior High girls wrestling tournament. A girls wrestling duel at Stand at 6:30. For Tuesday, January 23rd, there's basketball in Summerlin versus Elkhorn Valley. JV girls, JV boys, varsity girls, and varsity boys. There's a wrestling try, girls and boys at Summerlin. 6 o'clock, Summerlin versus North Central. 7 o'clock, North Central versus EPPJ, and 8 o'clock, EPPJ versus Summerlin. Wednesday, January 24th, there's FFA District Livestock Judging. For Thursday, January 25th, there is basketball at Summerlin versus Wausau. For Friday, January 26th, there's high school boys wrestling at Central Valley. Junior high basketball at O'Neill St. Mary's. For Saturday, January 27th, there is honor band, girls wrestling at Norfolk Catholic, and the first round of MVC basketball.
Special segment, Barrett Sports segment. Stay tuned.
Hello, Summerlin. I'm Barrett with the Summerlin Bobcast Sports segment, and this week is going to be a three little show segment with Weekly Review, Husker Hour, talking about some of the new recruits from the transfer portal, and obviously just commitments, because we haven't really talked about that at all. And then we'll be going to Game Time, where I'm just going to make some picks against America, bring it back for the first time in 2024. So we're going to go to our first segment of the day, which is going to be Weekly Review. So this is Weekly Review, and of course last week I made a couple picks in the NFL playoff-wise and in the NBA, so we'll get to reviewing those right now. First off, on the NFC side of things, obviously the 49ers got the 1 seed, so the first game that was played was the Packers playing the Cowboys. And what an upset. The Cowboys go down in the first round. Again, it seems like they always play good in the regular season. Playoffs come around, they suck. The Packers are moving on. They win that game 48-32. The next one was the Lions playing the Rams. The Lions barely got out of there with a 1-point win. Stafford's return to Detroit, but the Lions beat them anyways, 24-23. And the Bucks beat the Eagles 32-9. So 2 of the top seeds, both the NFC East teams, go down. Very interesting, the NFC. So basically now, that leaves the 49ers playing the Packers and the Lions playing the Bucks. So you would expect 49ers Lions, but Packers Bucks both made, a good stride in this playoffs already, so why not keep winning? They have no reason not to. In the AFC side of things, the Ravens got the number 1 seed, and the first game was the Texans playing the Browns. The Texans handled them super easily. C.J. Stroud as a rookie playing excellent. They won that game 45-14. The Chiefs beat the Dolphins 26-7. It was like negative 30-something. Everybody knows the story of that game. Andy Reid's mustache was completely frozen over. That's pretty cool. Literally cool, but probably not for him. But the Chiefs won that 26-7, and the Bills beat the Steelers 31-17. That game was also completely snowpacked. They moved it back anyways from the original start date. They moved it back, and I saw a couple videos where guys were like literally basically scooping snow with their bodies to get to their seats. I just don't know how that's fun. To me, that doesn't even seem worth it. The other news in the NFL is that Jason Kelce announced his retirement from the Eagles, the star center, of course, Travis Kelce's brother. I've heard reports on maybe he's not actually retiring, but I'm pretty sure he is. So now's the time to say that for everybody if you're an Eagles fan, because Jason Kelce is out. So who knows what you do at center now. In the NBA, the Bucks beat the Warriors, which sucks because I'm wearing a Warriors hoodie right now, and they lost again. Bucks won at 129-118. The Pelicans beat the Mavs 118-108. The Jazz beat the Lakers 132-125. The Nuggets beat the Pacers 117-109, and the Pacers just traded for Pascal Siakam yesterday. So huge steps for the Pacers. Everybody's saying they're a contender team now. I'm not sure. The East is really good with teams like the Sixers, the Celtics, and the Bucks at the very top. So we'll see if the Pacers can really hang around in the East. And the Timberwolves beat the Clippers 109-105. So in the NBA, I went 2-3, so that's a rough day. But in the NFL, I went 4-2. So I'll take that. And with that, we're going to move on to our second segment of the day, which is going to be Husker Hour. So this is Husker Hour, and this is probably the last segment we'll do on this in a long time. But I thought it'd be good to come on here and kind of talk about some of the commitments and transfers for Matt Rule's second class. Of course, the big name is Dylan Raiola. But instead of going through all of them, because there's like 26 or something like that, I'm going to go through my top 5 favorite / most important commitments from the class of 2024, and then we'll talk about the transfers afterwards. So my number 5, this one is more of a more important commitment, is Grant Brix, the 4-star offensive tackle out of Iowa. He may not start this year, right, with a guy like Ben Hart coming back at right tackle, and at left tackle you've got Prohaska and Corcoran, right, I think, fighting for that spot. So he may not play this year, but obviously we've seen injuries and guys having to step up. And in the future, he's going to be a big, big part in anything Nebraska does. And they had a really good recruiting class in general, but the offensive line recruiting was really good. There's about 3 other guys that I could have put on this list, but I decided to put Grant Brix. He's my favorite out of all of them. So we'll see how good he really ends up being. At number 4 is a quarterback, but it's not the quarterback you're thinking of. It's Daniel Kalen, the 3-star QB out of Nebraska, obviously, he's in state. So that was a big pickup for that reason. And obviously without Dylan Raiola, the quarterback room would be very depleted, with it essentially just being Kalen and Heinrich Harburg, since Chuba and Jeff Sims both left, and Kyle McCord said no. Casey Thompson committed to Oklahoma. So Kalen is a big pickup. I don't really know what else there is behind those 3, right, with it being Raiola, Kalen, and Harburg. That's why Kalen's a huge pickup. That's why I put him on here. He may not play. Obviously, I think Raiola's the starter, and Kalen may not touch the field in the first year, except for some scrub time or something like that. But if a guy like Raiola gets injured, Kalen's the first guy up, basically, unless they gave Harburg the chance over him. But just having depth in the quarterback room, it proved last year that we needed it. We have better this year, but obviously with Chuba leaving, that hurts it too. We knew Jeff Sims was going to be gone. But Kalen still stays, even though he went and looked at Michigan State after Dylan he committed to Nebraska. Then Daniel Kalen basically just stayed at Nebraska, which is a big pickup for us. Number 3 is the 3-star wideout Davon Hall, and this is another position group that's really good, and it's the receivers in general, including tight ends, but the receivers actually are so good this year, and I'm super hyped about all of them. Davon Hall, I think, is going to be the best out of all of them, and that's why I put him at 3. Obviously, Nebraska went out and got 2 transfer wide receivers, plus they have guys like Malachi and Jalen Lloyd from last year, so It's a younger wide receiver class, and the 2 transfers are a little bit older, so we'll see exactly how it pans out. But I think Davon Hall could play a good amount of time for us this year. At number 2 is the 4-star tight end out of Ainsworth. It's Carter Nelson. Of course, everybody knows about Carter Nelson and how big of a commitment that was for us, and we're all glad that we got him. He could have went anywhere basically in the country. He stays home. Big pickup, especially because the tight end room can be really good in the future now. It's Fedoni and Carter Nelson as a duo. That in 2 years, when Fedoni would be a senior and Carter would be a sophomore, maybe Fedoni would be a junior and Carter would be a sophomore, that's going to be a really good tight end group. And with Dylan at quarterback, of course, Dylan is my number 1. He's my favorite. He's my most important because we needed a star quarterback. It just sets up so much for the future. I don't even really need to talk about it because just everything that from recruiting to transfers to winning games to building, I don't know, more interest in Nebraska, getting more 5-star. Like, it's just, the whole thing is so good. I'm very glad we got him. Next year, you'll really see, I guarantee, we start seeing bigger recruits coming in. We've already seen some transfer guys come in that we probably wouldn't have got otherwise. And there was a few guys that flipped commitments, like on the last day on signing day. So Dylan Raiola is my number 1 most important commitment of 2024. The transfers, as of right now, but I don't know if there's enough scholarship room for many more. They might add 1 or 2 more throughout the rest of the offseason. But it's a linebacker. His name is Stephon Thompson. He came over from Syracuse. He played in the 3-3-5 at Syracuse when Tony White was there, and he's got experience. He's really good. Big help because I said, like, all the offensive guys committed, over the past 2 weeks, I was like, this is great, but I think the last thing we really need is another linebacker with Reimer and Henrich being gone. They go out and get a linebacker. I mean, the defense looks great, let's be honest. The next thing they could use is maybe another corner, which they got another corner, but I'm not going to say he's not great, but nobody's ever heard of him, so we'll see how good he really does. The next one is the interior offensive lineman, Micah Mezcua from Florida. Big pickup. He's going to start whatever guard, right? It doesn't matter. But we know the guards were depleted anyways, and with Nwili being gone, need more help there. So Mezcua is a big pickup. The wide receiver duo of Jamal Banks from Wake Forest and Isaiah Nair from Texas. Obviously, Jamal Banks is a huge pickup. Nair, everybody saw that and was like, oh, why did he do so bad? He's been injured, and he played in that Texas offense where they didn't really need him because they had a ton of good receivers that transferred in. When he played at, I think, Wyoming, he was excellent. He had over 800 yards and 14 touchdowns or something like that. So hopefully he can repeat that success. Jamal Banks, he's been excellent. I believe he's got 2 years left out of Wake Forest, so he's a big pickup. The running back, Dante Dowdle from Oregon, of course, that's huge. The running back room looks really good with him, Gabe Irving, Emmett Johnson, Ramir's coming back for his 6th year, I think. So we'll see where Dante slides in. I would think he'd be the number 2 behind Emmett. Well, no, I would think they give Gabe the 1, Dante the 2, and Emmett the 3, and then Ramir would be more of a receiving back. But of course, spring hasn't even happened yet. We haven't seen spring game. We haven't seen all the summer workouts and camps and stuff like that. So we don't really know exactly what's going to happen there. The final recruit, the final transfer, is corner Bly Hill from St. Francis. Nobody really knows who he was, and nobody's really talked about him. I think he could be a big pickup because the cornerback room is really limited right now with a guy like Newsom being gone, and we don't really know if Malcolm Hartzog is switching to safety or if he's staying at corner. So with Bly Hill coming over, it gives us more depth. There's a lot of young guys that will have to play corner this year because obviously I think Tommy Hill's got one spot locked down. So maybe Bly Hill slides over and we have the Hill-Hill combo at corner. We don't really know for sure. So that's going to do it for Husker Hour. We're going to move into our final segment of the day, which is going to be Game Time. So this is Game Time, and this week we got some quick picks to go up against America and ESPN percentages, however you want to look at it, whoever does all the sportsbook stuff. We're going to see how my picks come out against everybody else. So we're going to start in the NFL with my Super Bowl prediction. I've got to go Ravens 49ers, and I think Lamar Jackson gets them a Super Bowl. In college basketball, the first time we've picked college basketball this year, we're going to start with number 18, Creighton and Seton Hall. Creighton just got beat bad last night by the number 1 team in the country, but I think they'll bounce back pretty easily against Seton Hall. Creighton gets that win. Alabama, number 6, Tennessee. I think Alabama's a good team, but they're not a great team like Tennessee is, so I'll take Tennessee, and Tennessee's at home, so just more reason for me to pick Tennessee. Number 24, Iowa State playing number 19, TCU. I'm going to go ahead and take TCU on this one. They're playing at home. That place will get rocking. I'll take the Horned Frogs. Georgia playing number 8 Kentucky. This game is a sleeper for me because everybody's like Kentucky wins easily, but Georgia's not looked that bad, and Georgia almost won against I don't remember. Like, it was another ranked team. They almost pulled it off, and they kind of messed it up in the last couple minutes of that game. But obviously, I'm going to take Kentucky here. It's going to be a lot closer. Some people I've seen say like 15, 20-point game. I think it's within 7. Kentucky's good. I like all the freshmen like Dillingham, but I'm going to take Kentucky at home. But Georgia keeps it close, a lot closer than most people would think. Finally, in college basketball, number 22 Ole Miss playing number 13 Auburn. This one's easy for me. Auburn's a way better team. I haven't watched Ole Miss at all this year, but I think Auburn wins this one pretty easily, and they're at home, so give me the Tigers. In the NBA, we got the Thunder playing the Timberwolves. Timberwolves have been on a tear. I'm going to take Shea and the Thunder. They've been playing really good, so give me the Thunder. Spurs and the Wizards is like the bad game of the week, right? Both teams have like 3 and 4 wins, which is honestly crazy. I'm going to take Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. They're going to go on the road and get like their 5th win of the year, or whatever it is. The Wizards just lost to the Pistons a couple nights ago, so that's rough for them. The Raptors playing the Knicks. The Raptors just traded Siakam away to the Pacers. I'm going to take the Knicks, who took OG Anunoby. It's OG Anunoby's comeback game against the Raptors, I guess. So I'll take the Knicks. Heat playing the Magic. I'm going to take Paolo and the Magic at home to get that one done. And finally, we got the Pacers playing the Suns. Depending on Tyrese Halliburton, if he's back from his hamstring strain, and they just got Siakam, the Suns obviously with KD and Book and Beal. I'm going to take the Suns at home, kind of betting on Tyrese not playing, so give me the Suns there. But the Pacers, watch out, they will be a good team in the East. So that's going to do it for this week. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys next week.